Konnichiwa minasan, and welcome back to my channel. I am coming to you from New Jersey today, and we are gonna take a trip into New York. So I have a little bit of work to do in Bryant Park, and I'm actually very, very excited about it because I love Bryant Park during the holidays. And I used to work all of the outdoor glass booths throughout my childhood, so it's really cool to see, and I'm really excited to kind of re-experience it again as an adult. And I think Mike and I went there once when we were maybe in college or something, right when I was working around there. I think he came to visit me, and it was really romantic. So I thought it might be nice again to do it together, to walk through it together. And since today is more of a chill vlog, and I say that because I actually don't have anything in particular to film or show you, I'm just kind of bringing you guys along. I thought maybe this could be the video where Mike and I answer some of your questions regarding our move to Japan. The one that I prompted for a couple videos ago, I do believe in the video that I announced that we were moving. I loved reading a bunch of those questions, and now that we've had only 3 weeks, but now that we've had 3 weeks there, I feel like there are some things that we can answer a little bit better. But of course, because we've only been there for 3 weeks, there are a bunch of questions that we really can't possibly justify answering. So we will do the best we can today. I can't tell if we're in Tokyo or if we're in New York anymore. I had forgotten how friggin' freezing it is in the city. I don't know why. Like, it says it's 41 degrees, but it really, really feels like 20. In Massachusetts, every time I said it was 40 degrees, it was like warm. Yeah, it's very different. It's so cold in the city. So I used to work this outdoor event at Bryant Park every year for like 10 years or so. This was my job throughout high school and college. Oh my god, it's the scrapey cheese toast. Wait, oh god, the scrapey cheese toast. Okay, I'm gonna go. Why are there so many cops? It's too many cops. I want to take a picture of the pretty thing. There's so many cops. It's getting colder and colder by the minute, and it is almost snowing. Almost. I must say, there is nothing quite like the holidays in Manhattan. Like, Christmas in New York City is just different and incredible and beautiful, and I feel very spoiled that this is what we grew up with, and then very weird that we spent so much time in LA not really celebrating Christmas to the fullest extent that we know how. But yeah, I feel like this year's redemption time. Listen to this, okay? We had some miserable ass Christmases in LA, okay? The first Christmas we spent in LA, we ate Del Taco.
I thought that was supposed to be a secret.
Not a secret anymore. I don't care anymore. We're different people now. I don't care anymore. So we are in Central Park now, and it's a little quieter, so I figured this would be a good place we could maybe answer some of those questions I was talking about earlier in the day.
Give us a video about someone who wants to move to become a resident of Japan. It'd be great to hear that in a video from you. Include
Resident.
Okay. Include someone who wants to move by themselves, someone who wants to move with one other person, and someone who wants to move with a group of friends.
Okay, that's a lot of options.
Yeah, I don't have the insight on the group of friends, although it was very helpful to have a lot of friends visit Japan in the process of us moving there. Because it felt more comfortable knowing that there were just more than just me going, so it definitely makes you more confident. But also having your family there.
Well, duh. I feel like we have a cheat card. Like,
yeah,
you know, like I love all these questions, but as I was gathering them, I kind of felt like I felt everybody was like, oh, like, were you nervous, or, you know, what was like the biggest hurdle, or, you know, specifically about the residency and the visa thing. We have a cheat card because my whole family is there, so there is no residency issue.
Right. We
don't have to apply for an apartment. We don't have to wait until we have a bank account.
We also got married there.
We also got married there, specifically. So our Japanese marriage license overrides everything completely. And also, like, I don't know, you don't need a sponsor, you don't need a visa, like, you literally don't need anything. So I feel like we don't really have a lot of insider help on that.
Right.
Basically, marry a Japanese person. So the fact of the matter is, without a visa, a work visa, a student visa, or a sponsored visa, you can only stay in Japan to vacation for up to 3 months, and then you're getting kicked out. But if you want to live there, you have to either find a company that is willing to pay and sponsor your visa, or you marry a Japanese person, or you get something called a startup visa, which is something that is available in Fukuoka right now. I don't think it's available in Tokyo, but it's really interesting, and that is definitely a new avenue of trying to get residency in Japan, or trying to get a prolonged visa to work there. Other than that, like we mentioned earlier, I just like really don't have any other suggestions, so sorry about that. I wonder, you feel like raising your future children in Japan? Well, with our age right now, yes, I think that's the plan. I want to raise children in Japan because I feel like their academic education is going to be on a higher scale, and since we're naturally probably going to be speaking English in the house, them having a really hardcore Japanese education outside and then being bilingual indoors, I feel like will be really beneficial for them. And, you know, it's not like we're always going to be in Japan. You know, we'll visit the US, so I feel like I just want to raise really international children.
Yeah, I think, you know, I want them to have experiences in both countries, but I think every parent wants their kids to have a better experience than they had, and I think our kids would have a better experience living in Japan, traveling to America,
as opposed to
opposed to living in America and traveling to Japan and only being there in the summer, for example. Because not only do I like think you know, not necessarily that Japan is a stricter school system, but like
it's stricter. Let's be real.
So, you know, education being very important, I think will lead them to the best life they could have. But I think they'll get what they need out of experiencing America in the time that they can visit here, you know.
Yeah. I want to spend New Year's in Japan because it's not religious, but like traditionally it's a big deal. Right. But I do want to do like Thanksgiving and Christmas and other holidays in the US, because I feel like since there's a religious connotation, or, you know, a different cultural connotation, I feel like that is important to understand. Like, Mike and I grew up in Fair Lawn in a heavily Jewish community, which is also quite interesting, but like Hanukkah was just as important as Christmas in our hometown.
I think that helped a lot, honestly. Right? I think if I was, you know, I had a very specific upbringing in my own household, but living in a town with people who had a very different experience, made me more open to looking at things in the world overall, and therefore gave me a better experience overall than just being in one area where I could only get one experience.
Definitely. Like after a certain point, I remember being super conscious of towns that we would drive through during the holidays, and we wouldn't see any blue lights. It would literally just be like Christmas lights, and I'd be like, oh, this is clearly not a Jewish town. This next one's specifically for you. I'm curious to see how Mike adjusts to living in Japan. So I'm curious to see how Mike is adjusting to living in Japan. How are you adjusting? How is it so far?
I mean, we haven't stopped moving really. Like we haven't even been there for longer than like 3 weeks living there. So
right. It's hard.
I haven't fully adjusted, I guess, but I mean, having family back in my life again
is really nice.
And having seasons instead of it just being the same weather all the time is actually, you know, kind of kickstarts you and motivates you.
Definitely. I feel like you're gonna adjust really well. What I noticed about you that's really, really impressive is you're not afraid to jump in and try. And I feel like Japan is a really, really good environment for that, for people that want to jump in and try. They're very encouraging.
They encourage trying,
yes,
actually. They don't roast, at least as a foreigner, they don't roast you for failing. I hear they roast people who are actually citizens there for failing, but...
Yeah, they hate me.
Me, they treat very nicely when I mess up, though, so that's encouraging to try again.
Right.
Because it's like, it's normal to mess up, I guess.
Right, and they're like, oh, try again. It's not like, oh, you messed up, let me just give you the answer. They really do try to coax you into actually getting the right sentence out in Japanese, and I feel like you respond to that really well, and I think, therefore, you will adjust really nicely. Actually, we were just talking to our business partners, and they work in Japan as well, and they were kind of telling us about, they were warning us, for lack of a better term, about really subtle cultural issues that we're probably going to face being foreigners in Japan.
Yeah.
So there's this terminology called shito in Japanese, and it means jealousy, but it's a very complicated form of it, and it's very deep-seated and culturally charged. And in Japan, that shito, that jealousy concept, kind of exists where a Japanese person might give Mike a really, really dirty look, and it's probably because they're jealous of his general freedom. Like, just being foreign or white or American in Japan, you kind of immediately know that they're freer than you as a Japanese person, and they are jealous of you. Not you specifically, but they're jealous of like the idea of you.
Yeah, up until now, it's essentially me on vacation with you, so no matter what, I always look like someone who just has free time on his hands.
Yeah, like you're not in a business suit, you're not in school uniform, you're not in training uniform, like they only see you as a vacationing foreigner, so
and as an editor, I don't usually have to try that hard when I'm not leaving the house.
Right, so in that light, that's what Japanese people see. They're like, oh, this like foreigner's just allowed to prance around in my country just hanging out while I have to like work my ass off and not go in debt. So there's this like very weird, bizarre jealousy concept that exists through there. I have experienced it all throughout my life because I've always looked very bizarre. I've always dyed my hair. You know, I'm only there during the holidays or during summer vacation, so I look like I'm just like prancing around having the time of my life, and I am. So, and also like now, as like a YouTuber, I obviously look like I'm just hanging out and having fun all the time, so it's hard. But yeah, so that is a subtle weird thing that is kind of hard to describe and something you don't experience unless you live there, I think. I'd love to know how you ship all your stuff. Is it difficult to do? Are there any sorts of regulations or things we should know if we're packing our stuff to take to Japan? Was it easy to get the list and accomplish the requirements to leave the US or anything arriving with Japan with cats? Okay, the Japan with cats thing is gonna have to be tabled, and that's a completely different discussion. But how did we ship all of our stuff? We brought most of it with us via luggage during our like 3 trips back and forth.
It was hard to plan over multiple trips. If you're doing multiple trips thinking, oh, I'll bring some stuff there, then I'll bring some other stuff I don't need for a bit, That's what makes it difficult.
Yeah.
You kind of have to ship it all at once or get ready to throw some stuff out last minute.
Right, so we threw out a lot of stuff. Our other option was to spend like $700 and send it all in one giant like barrel via ship.
I think it was 5 giant crates worth of stuff.
Right, oh, I thought it was like 7, right.
It's about $800 for about 5 crates worth of, I think, like 100 pounds each
worth
or
of
something.
Stuff, right. And although that's the best like pricing option, there's not, the insurance on it isn't very good. So we decided to throw out as much as possible and only bring the things that we love, found necessary, and otherwise found business savvy. I think that was pretty much it. It was hard, but it felt very like, I don't know, I feel like we purged ourselves of all of the trash we acquired in LA, and it felt really good. Some of it was sad. Looking back, I'm kind of like, oh, I'm sad we got rid of this many things and blah, blah, blah. But actually, as an adult, it feels really, really good. It feels refreshing. I want to start new in Japan. I also don't want IKEA furniture anymore. So I guess, what's a strategy, or like what's advice we have? Throw everything out, I guess. Sorry.
Yeah, honestly, if you're moving a lot or your life isn't already settled down in a house, if you're not settled down somewhere you think you're going to be for a long time, it's very tough to start accumulating things, because the moment you move, you're gonna realize how much money is spent on just moving the things you care about.
Yeah, the other thing we noticed was like we had a couple things that were in, I'd say, like the $50 to $100 range in terms of like equipment. And what's crazy was bringing the equipment over would have cost more than just buying it in Japan, or, you know, buying it again through Amazon Prime or something like that. So realizing that was kind of a big deal. Obviously for things that we could sell, we sold on eBay or like in our apartment building to other tenants as much as possible. But
even that, you realize you need more time for, because otherwise people haggle you, and you realize, I guess I just need to get rid of it, take it for $1.
Yeah, after a certain point, it really was kind of down to the wire, so we were just like, you know what, forget it, we just want to get rid of it. It is getting very cold to just sit here and hold the camera, so I think we're gonna go for a little walk, and then tonight, Mike and I are actually splitting up, and I'm having a girls' night, and Mike's going back to his Nana's. So I think I'll probably pick it back up from around there. I don't know if the girls that I'm with are gonna want to be on camera, but we're all gonna be in face masks, so maybe it won't be so bad. Maybe they'll be like, yeah, let's do it. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go for now, and I'll see you in a little bit. It's getting darker, so the lights are coming on. Mike and I had our romantic walk in Central Park, and then we went to his mom's office, and now they are going back to their Nana's for dinner, and I am now headed towards 56th and 5th, which is, I think it's called Milk Bar. I believe I'm picking up some cookies for girls' night tonight. I've never been there, and Tessa's never been there either, but I know Kim wants something peppermint, something, so that's what I'm getting. Holy shit, I walked past it by accident. Is it even open? Oh, the doors are so heavy. That was so cute. All right, now I need to resituate myself and figure out how to get to Tess. The cookies are all exciting and fine and dandy, but I am so hungry for real food. I'm starving. I don't know what we're eating for dinner / girls' night, but fuck, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten anything since lunch. We had that Festivus sandwich. I think it was closer to Grand Central Station, but yeah, I forgot the name of it, but these are some pictures of the sandwich and of the little shop. It was awesome, and the owner was so nice. Almost at Tessa's building, so we can start heading back to New Jersey. Doggy!
I'll bring good food.
Oh my god, you're so cute! You're posing for the camera! But does he know?
On the ground.
Wait, sit. Wait.
They're so good.
Why don't you flip your ear back?
Well, because it's not a person.